You may not see it right now, but something is shifting. You've walked through storms that left you breathless. You've cried behind closed doors, questioned your strength, and wondered if the pain would ever stop. You've looked in the mirror and struggled to recognize the person looking back at you. And maybe, just maybe, you've started to believe that the brokenness was permanent, that beauty was for others, not for you. But I want you to hear this clearly. This is not your ending. This is not your forever. What you're standing in right now is not defeat. It is the doorway to something new. What felt like the closing of a chapter is actually the beginning of something breathtaking. I'm not asking you to understand it all today. I'm asking you to stay with me, because beauty is rising even here, even now. I know you've carried weight that no one else sees. I know you've smiled while silently holding back tears. You've tried to stay strong for everyone else while your own soul felt like it was shattering. But even in that silence, I was there. Even when no one saw your struggle, I did. And I didn't walk away. I didn't forget you. I have been weaving purpose into your pain and planting strength in the cracks of your weakness. What felt like loss was making room for something greater. What looked like delay was preparing the ground for something beautiful. You may feel worn down, but you are not done. You may feel overlooked, but you have not been abandoned. This moment, right now, is holy. Not because everything is perfect, but because I am breathing new life into you, right where you are. Don't let the darkness convince you that this is where your story fades. Don't let the lies of the past define what is still possible. What you are stepping into is not random, it is divine timing. This is the beginning of the beauty. The kind of beauty that doesn't come from the outside, but from a heart that chose to keep going. From faith that held on, even with trembling hands. I am turning your mourning into joy, your weariness into wonder. I am restoring what was stolen, reviving what was dying, and revealing what was hidden. Stay with me through this message. Let every word remind you of who you are and what I am doing. You haven't seen the full picture yet, but I promise you, what's coming is worth it. The beauty is beginning, and it begins in you. Letting go of the past is never easy. The memories, the pain, the regrets, they cling tightly, whispering that things can never change. But what you don't realize is that every time you hold on to what's behind you, you're blocking the beauty I'm trying to bring in front of you. The pain may feel familiar, even comforting in its own way, but it is not your home. I never meant for you to live in your history. I never meant for you to carry shame like armor, or regret like chains. The past is a place of learning, not living. You have cried enough over what cannot be changed. You have questioned your worth long enough based on things you cannot fix. I am not looking at your failures. I am looking at your faith, even if it's just a flicker. When you release what has wounded you, you create space for healing. When you stop defining yourself by your yesterday, you allow me to show you what tomorrow can become. You are not walking away from what you lost. You are stepping toward what was always meant for you. The beginning of beauty starts where the grip of the past ends. Healing is not always loud. It doesn't always come with applause or recognition. Sometimes healing looks like getting up when no one sees you. Sometimes it's the silent decision to forgive, to breathe, to not give up on yourself one more time. I know the journey has been long. I know there are wounds you've buried deep just to keep functioning. But I see them. I see the broken places, and I'm not afraid of them. In fact, that's where I begin my work. Beauty doesn't rise from perfection, it rises from surrender. Every scar you carry has a story, and I'm not erasing those stories, I'm transforming them. Where others saw weakness, I see survival. Where others walked away, I remained. I've been healing you in ways you didn't even notice. And now, that quiet work begins to bloom. The strength you've been building in secret will begin to show. The peace you've been longing for will begin to settle. You're not too late. You're not too broken. This moment you're in, though it may feel uncertain, is the beginning of something sacred. Trust the healing, even when it feels slow, even when it hurts, because this is where the beauty begins to grow. Your story is not over. I know there have been chapters filled with pain, with disappointment, with moments that made you question everything. But I have never stopped writing, even in the silence, even in the heartbreak. I was still working. What you thought was the final page was only a pause. I'm not finished with you. I am taking what was meant to destroy you and turning it into a foundation. Every loss, every betrayal, every failure. It's being rewritten, not erased, but transformed. The things that once brought you shame will one day bring others hope. The very parts of your story you wanted to hide will become proof of my hand in your life. Beauty isn't found in the moments when everything made sense. It's found in the moments when you kept going, despite not understanding. I am making your life a testimony, not of how perfect you were, but of how present I was. I'm weaving strength into your weakness, purpose into your pain. You may not see the full picture yet, but piece by piece, I'm restoring what was lost and rebuilding what was broken. Your story will not end in sorrow, it is rising in glory. You've spent so much time looking outside yourself for beauty, for worth, for something to make you feel whole. But what you've been searching for has always been within you. I placed it there from the very beginning. The world may have tried to cover it with fear, with comparison, with lies that told you you're not enough. But none of those things can take away what I've already put inside you. You are not missing anything. You are not waiting to become worthy. You already are. I am calling forth the strength, the grace, the light that has been buried under the weight of your past. You don't have to perform to be seen. You don't have to chase validation to be loved. I see you. I've seen every hidden battle, every quiet victory. And now, I'm awakening the beauty that was always there. As you walk with me, layer by layer, what's been hidden will begin to shine, not because the world suddenly approves, but because you finally believe what I've always said about you. The beauty the world couldn't give you is the beauty it can't take away. It's rising now, and it's coming from within. This is not a random moment in your life. This is not a coincidence or a passing phase. This is the beginning of something sacred. Something I've been preparing you for even in the moments you felt forgotten. You've walked through valleys that made you question your purpose. You've faced battles that left you feeling worn and weary. But none of it was wasted. Every step, every tear, every unanswered question has brought you here, to the edge of something beautiful. I'm not asking you to have it all figured out. I am simply asking you to trust that this is not the end. What you see right now is only the beginning of what I'm about to unfold. I am taking the broken, the forgotten, and the overlooked, and I'm shaping it into something beyond your imagination. The beauty ahead is greater than the pain behind. This is where it begins. As you listen to these words, remember this. The beauty God is bringing into your life is not a distant dream. It is already beginning. what you have endured, what you have overcome, and what you have learned is not in vain. Every moment of struggle has been preparing you for this season of transformation. You are standing at the threshold of something beautiful, and though the journey may not always be easy, it is leading you to a place of wholeness, peace, and purpose. Trust that the pain, the healing, and the moments of uncertainty are all part of the divine process. The beauty you've been waiting for is not out there. It is inside you, waiting to rise to the surface. Hold on to hope, walk in faith, and know that with every step you take, you are moving closer to the masterpiece I've been creating. You are not finished, and neither is my work in you. The best is yet to come. Thank you for taking the time to listen. I know that hearing these words is just the beginning of the transformation in your life. You are not alone in this journey, and you are more than enough. Be blessed, and remember that the beauty of what's coming is greater than anything you've experienced. Keep walking forward, and trust that I am with you every step of the way. Thank you again, and know that you are deeply loved.